We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control.
Hello, there we go. Alright, now I think I have some sound. Hello everybody and welcome into the Fallout Shelter. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? There's Rear Breeze, Love Pugs, IMC, Tanya D, Betty R. Oh man, you gotta change that name. You know you do. Y'all, that's a friend of my son's. Don't kick him out just yet. MIC, Seizing Cyborg, Rise and Shine Crafts, Denise Woolsey, Timothy Graff, a dog named Boo. Welcome in. Love all you guys. Good to see you. And welcome into the Fallout Shelter. I am totally unprepared tonight. I have had such a crazy week. Oh, let me tell y'all, there's one thing I hate doing more than anything else in this world of construction that I end up having to do from time to time. I love to paint. I love to build. I love to do the carpentries. I love to do metal studs. All of this old type of stuff. Anyway, what I really hate doing is sheetrock finishing. My shoulder don't like it, my age don't like it, my feet don't like it. Anyway, we got a job, and when we got the job, we didn't know how quickly the floor people were already scheduled to be there. And we took the job, and then we found out we had 6 days to have all of that prepped if we wanted to be able to paint all the ceilings and stuff before the floor went in. Now, for all of you that don't paint, it is a blessing to paint the ceilings and stuff before floors go in. You can do it quickly, and it really saves a lot of time and headache. Anyway, I ended up doing sheetrock work about 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and there you go. It's your boy Jaden. There we go. I like that a lot better. You know, that's one of the young men that I do my best to mentor, but they're just so y'all are just wild boys. I love y'all, but you know it. Anyway, moving on. It's good to have y'all in here. You never know what you might learn. All right, let's see. I'm so unprepared. Anyway, what I was saying is, I got home and I got in the bathtub yesterday evening after 6 days straight of sheetrock finishing that I hadn't done in many years, and I woke up in an ice cold bathtub of water later in the evening, and then I went and lay down and woke up this morning. Sometime deep into my Sunday school classes when I finally got up. So that's what kind of day it was for me. And I've just kind of been behind all day trying to get a few little things done at home. So, here's one thing I know. I think we were fairly consistent on the weather pattern where we said it was going to be wet. It's been wet. Where we said there would be flooding, there would be flooding. So as bad a thing as that is, it's good to know that we can kind of value that. So let's I'm trying. Let's see. Let's look at some news you won't hear anywhere else. I think that's going to be our Sunday night theme. News you can't find anywhere else. Look at the weather and open prayer requests. This is episode 2, and I am your host, Fallout. How's that sound, guys? It sure was easy for me to just reuse the settings. Okay, yeah, we'll start right here. Every one of the... Okay, I don't have these links in the description, but let me make this really honest for you. That includes sheetrock work. I don't know about that, JR. I don't know if it made me it sure does make me dislike it more and more. Oh crap, forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, yeah. Sure. Anyway, phys.org. That is where every story that we're going to go over right here in the next few minutes come from. Phys.org. I have done stream after stream after stream with just information from here. So let's see what the mainstream scientific world is putting out for people that aren't seeing in the mainstream news. July 15th, 2023, viral caffeine heavy drink raises concerns for U.S. kids. Now, this is a drink that is really being pushed down people's throats in the younger generations. I don't know if y'all are going to be that familiar with it. I have dealt with it with my 14-year-old. I don't like this drink, and it comes and it's pushed by Logan Paul, so it has a ton of push behind it. It has an extremely high level of caffeine. If you were to get like a Coca-Cola, I think that's 30 milligrams, and you can get 80 milligrams of caffeine in a can of Red Bull. A single can of Prime energy drink contains 200 milligrams of caffeine. At first they started with Prime Hydration, and it has 0 caffeine, but the Prime energy drink was launched. And what's happening is now, since it's a Logan Paul beverage, you're seeing it pushed profoundly on the youth, and you're just seeing it all over social media, and we know where all of this leads. The recommended limit for caffeine on people between the ages of 12 and 18 is 100 milligrams per day recommended, or half a can of Prime Energy. And now, there was a time, guys, when I drank tons of these energy drinks when they first come out, and I honestly believe they caused me some health problems that I got really lucky that I just stopped drinking them quickly. Yeah. So there we go. That's story number 1. Viral caffeine heavy drink raises concerns. So watch out for your Prime. Now let's move on. Let's see what else we got in the global world. Oh, this is something. Now, granted, not the end of the world, but we will start. And I'm more into this. So if I become not a truther channel, I'm not a truther channel. But this is the type of things that interest me. We are moving toward a technological future. We're going to see it. We're going to live with it. It's going to be in our lives. So to me, this is just kind of an interesting thing, especially if tech is used in the right way. So to me, this was just kind of interesting. There is a global metric being developed for the design of dexterous robots, which I've read through this, and it means a lot of your researchers are starting to share what they can do with the hands. And that type of thing. You can find this in the technical stories at physics.org if you're interested in that. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but it is pretty cool to see some of the things coming around where it'll be kind of a global thing. I'm into that type of thing, so it's going to happen. And that doesn't necessarily mean the end of the world. But now these are the type of things that we need to be paying attention to. This is part of that global digital prison. I mean, I can't think of any other way to describe it. It is going to be a digital global prison, and this is one of the rare breeds. Thank you, rare breeds. I can't believe it took y'all that long. And now you're having a look at this. So, okay, now you got the screen share going on. I'll go back and show you real quick. We'll go viral caffeine heavy drink. Basically, it was just a bunch of pictures of some beans, and if you want to go back, you can be able to pause it. You can see the writing on the screen. You can just go back and find it right there. There we go. And then the global metric developed for the design of dexterous robots. I don't think this is even it. This is just a stock picture I looked. Public domain. So, now, right here. Now we're screen sharing, I do believe. I think. I hope. Hey, Barb in Ohio. I do drink Red Bull. Well, yeah, I know. I see y'all kids. Y'all aren't bad though. I'll give y'all that. Y'all really aren't. For the life y'all live and where we live at, y'all do kind of okay. All right, now we're screen sharing. All right. More stick, less carrot. Australia's new approach to tackling fake news on digital platforms. Fake news on digital platforms. What does that mean? Well, usually anybody who's telling the truth, especially if it's against whatever government propaganda we are trying to shove down your throat at the time. An urgent problem for governments around the world in the new digital age is how to keep people locked away from spreading information that can harm that government. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what that says. I was just translating the BS into truth. An urgent problem for governments around the world in the digital age is how to tackle the harms caused by mis- and disinformation, and Australia is no exception. Well, let me put it to you this way. If I kept one person from jabbing an experiment into themselves, at least I know that there's one person that does not run the risk of, blood clots and sudden adult death syndrome, or, just dying suddenly, falling over from absolutely nothing. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that because my disinformation that came from the same professionals that wrote in the same scientific journals all the way back to the 80s, they just didn't work for the government. They stayed kind of consistent. While the people who work for the government, their science kind of stayed consistent with what politicians needed for emergency declarations. You see how that kind of works? So yeah, together mis- and disinformation fall under the umbrella term of fake news. Oh, now what happened? Who made the term fake news popular? Oh, was it a liberal that was trying to talk about the or no, I think it was Trump who made the term fake news a huge projection into the public domain so that it was heard and seen and recorded into memory, and over you heard the term fake news so that the sheep, they start to only believe what is now being placed at them, how it's placed at them. If it's considered fake news, well, we will watch it as fake news. They told you that they were fixing to start giving you fake news, and they did. They gave you fake news about experiments. They gave you fake news about everything that was going on during that time, and you would gobble it up and tell people like us, well, these things aren't going on. I haven't saw it on the television. And Trump was telling every one of you that all of these places are fake news. They put the truth right in your face all the time. And, well, if you're watching me right now, odds are, yeah, you know this already. I'm just a echo chamber for these type of things if you have looked up and found my channel. But, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at on this. That's one of the things they talk about. Let's see, it's a tricky problem and hard to police because of the sheer amount of misinformation online. Well, see, that comes down to subjectiveness. Let me. All of y'all know how I feel about the sky. That's what most of y'all are here for. That's what we started with, taking pictures of airplanes, leaving their pretty little trails, and as Jim calls them, plane farts in the sky. Well, I actually have a very good analogy right now because he's watching. Your boy Jaden. If he were to be standing here with me having a conversation, he could make the statement, the sky's been like this all my life. And he would absolutely be telling you a 100% truth. I could stand there and tell him, well, the sky ain't been like that all of my life. I don't know what you're talking about. And I would be telling a 100% truth. Because, see, Jaden never saw the sky in 1989 like me and most of you guys did. Yeah, I go look at the metrics. I know y'all are watching. We're all getting on up there. He never saw the sky in 1981. He never saw the sky you and I see. So when people tell us it's always been that way, and we dismiss them all of a sudden, well, sometimes we need to think and remember, maybe we're talking to a youngster. Maybe they're telling a truth. And maybe we really need to get having more discussions instead of headbutts, just to try to make progress and stay united. I don't know if all that meant anything or if it made any, but that's the problem with fake news. I guess that's where I was going, because when they start to decide what fake news is, it's from their perspective and only their perspective, and it could absolutely be fake news, or it could absolutely be true to somebody looking at it from a different perspective. Yes, I know truth is not subjective, but in some of these cases, truth is where you're standing in your point in time and looking at something. Because he wouldn't be lying to me, and I wouldn't be lying to him. We would both be telling an absolute truth based on where we're standing at a certain point in time. And we need to start looking at each other and having some empathy where each other come from on that. I guess that's relevant to this story. So anyway, the Minister for Communications released a draft exposure bill to step up Australia. Anyway, Australia is really fixing to step up a censorship program, is what I'm getting at. They are following the China model to the T for the social credit system as to what we're going to know in the United States as an ESG score. And if you don't believe that, look into an ESG score and find out what that is. That is your environmental, your social, and your governmental score. It will be how good you are with your climate activities, how good you are in your social justice regulation, and how much you are with with the government things that you're supposed to be doing. And that will allow you to maybe be able to eat a steak more than somebody else, or to get on the fast train instead of the slow train. That is absolutely coming. And it's Australia is the NWO playground right now. I never would have expected it to see that way, but it appears that Canada and Australia are really being hit hard with the NWO play. And all right, I feel the smoke in my throat. I did see a story. I don't have it smoke bad here today. Is that up in the Southeast Michigan? I also think I read it, like, was it Illinois? It was bad. Huh. We need to pray for all those folks in that smoke deal. That's bad. I didn't pull that up, but let's see. Let's roll on a little bit. This is just more of the same. It's what we show here. The news you won't see anywhere else. That's what I'm going to start calling it, because in Ohio. All right. Thank you. I need somebody to pop in there. Boomer. Hey, Boomer Bear, good to see you. Mike Smith, good to see you. Gloria, Jay Hart, love you guys. Welcome in. Got on a little bit of a rant there. Let's see. Code of practice on disinformation developed for digital platform by their industry association known as Digi. Okay, well, this always gets me in trouble here, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. No, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not. Y'all give me a second. favorite place. Da-da-da-da. I know I'm being quiet for a minute, but I may have to go pull this from an archive somewhere. I'll have to go find it on my Twitter page, I reckon. It's not there now. How many of y'all that watch me for a long time have heard me talk about Uncle Ray, Uncle Ray, and the multimedia monitoring system? How many times have we looked at it on their website? And now it is gone. It would take me a long time to go back and find it on their on my Twitter, but I will at some point during the week now that I know it's not here. Glad I checked this. I'll have to dig up I'll have to get back into the go find the archive for that one. Good to know. Good to know. Where were we at? Hey, I'm trying there, brother. I'm trying, because this is completely cold. I popped these stories up. I have no idea what they were, but they all ended up being Agenda 2030 stuff and NWO stuff. And look, ever since I started talking to y'all about, even mentioned HemiSync, and I haven't had time to do what I want to do with that, because I want to do that right. I'm getting all these advertisements for HemiSync and binaural beats. Let me tell y'all, from what I can find in my research about HemiSync and binaural beats, you're not doing anything but actually programming your brain exactly as they need you to program it to be a better programmed soldier, to be more focused in your brain, to be where they need it in a hypnotic type state, so that they can pulse information into it to get you to do exactly what they want you to do. That's what I see from those beats. So, all right, well, I think that's about enough of that. We'll get into the weather. We'll look at the moisture. I don't know a whole lot about the weather, but I do know that moisture map seems to have been fairly accurate. So we'll look at that. We'll go look at the air quality in Ohio, and you would think, Jaden, and maybe in your group, and that's something maybe down the line, but our groups have tried that, and YouTube is, that's when the old people are there, because that's what most of us are. Yeah. Oh, I am going to show you all this. I still don't know if the t-shirt thing even works. I will find that out next week. I think I have a sheetrock finisher coming Monday. We hired 2 painters Saturday, and they did a great job. So I'm hoping that I get a little bit of a relax this week. I did get my black and yellow logo approved. So there is black and yellow logo shirts, and there is a hat that has a logo on the front and the Pure Bud on the side. So anyway, link for that's in the description. I'm not going to go into any more of that right now, but I did get that approved. That was my Twitter. I'm still screen sharing. I need to have up maps. We'll get there. Yeah, me too, Pugs. Crazy the way things are going on. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, I think a lot of things that we've been dealing with lately, I think have been solar. I think from what I'm starting to see after paying it, if you really start to just pay any attention to the solar maps and the way things are going, you really start to see you start to see some correlation to other things that happen. And so, yeah. Now, I think I need to, I might have to double up. Let's see, that's going to be valid tomorrow morning, July 17th. That would be correct. Right now we're, okay, that's about right. So, let's go look at right now if there's any warnings and things of that like that nature going on. I won't see the chat for a minute. I want to blow these up so y'all get the full screen. A lot of you are looking on your phones, so this would probably be more beneficial this way. Let's just look at the whole continent for a minute. See what we got going on anywhere. Oh, it looks like the Northeast is completely covered in flood watches and thunderstorm watches. We'll pause it after it plays through one time and we'll look, and then I'll go look at the Northeast real quick. Some crazy, I don't know. Yeah, granted, I don't know what these are, but we're starting to see more and more of this just crazy looking. We didn't used to see this off of these radars. You know, we'd see a single beam that Mike would tell us was what is called like searchlight mode or something. And now they're just like blasting everywhere. See them over here off the coast of California, off the coast of Texas. Just relentless rain up in the Northeast, and I know last Sunday I went through how much rain we would get, and it would come every, and I realized I thought that the pattern was evening time trying to learn the UTC time, and I was correct. So that was, I did have the right time last week. We'll see if I can get the right time again this week. And it just about did. It got in a pattern where it rained over Mississippi just about every week. It looks like we have some thunderstorm watches over northwest and northeast Louisiana up into the southeast Arkansas. We have them in Oklahoma, Colorado, Iowa, up into Indiana, I think. I'm learning. I got to look at the maps again. I got to get my geography right. I know I could be wrong because I sucked at geography in high school, which means I probably still suck at it now. But now I'm willing to try to learn. So I used to only know these states because I don't travel much. I'm in Mississippi, and you know, just kind of where I'm at. If I traveled, it was because there was a racetrack there. It was at night, and I was back home before the sunlight came up. So up in the Northeast, it does. I tell you what, that's probably worth giving it a look of its own. Let's see what we get. We'll learn how these maps work a little better. This might help us out. Yeah. Y'all are covered in flood watches. And I know from what I've seen in the news, y'all got slammed over and still getting slammed. Yeah, I don't know nothing about radar, but I can tell you one thing. That's a lot of water, and we're going to look ahead in a minute, and we'll see what's going on. Let's see what the space weather says. I haven't looked at this in a while. Matter of fact, I haven't looked at any of this since last Sunday night at 8 o'clock. I like this. This is an AI-free zone. Text created by ChatGPT and other large language models is spreading rapidly across the internet. It's well written, artificial, frequently inaccurate. If you find a mistake on spaceweather.com, rest assured it was made by a real human being. I love that. As a matter of fact, I have an idea for a t-shirt that I'm not even going to brand for the Fallout Shelter. I'm just going to start a separate store with really crazy maybe sayings on them. I want one that I can wear around that says, I refuse to use a self-checkout machine. And I'm going to wear it every time I have to go to a store that I know employs a self-checkout machine. I don't know why, but it has really gotten into my craw, and I want one really badly to wear and put on there. Machines are taking American jobs. Stop using self-checkout. You know, stuff like that. I don't know. CME impact and geomagnetic storm arriving a full day earlier than expected. A CME. Okay. See, these are the type of things right there that I don't understand. If we've been measuring space weather and the sun so long that this is just like common knowledge and common things to do, how does a CME get here a day early? Did they just start traveling at different speeds all of a sudden? Is there something we should know about this? Is this a big deal? Is the sun going through a major change? Like I said, there's a lot of solar things going on that statement right there raises questions to me. And those are the type of questions that usually lead people to going, oh, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist. Okay, let me give y'all another for instance that has nothing to do with the weather. I heard a news story probably 6 months ago before I had started streaming again. It said that the cartels had made $3 billion that year on human trafficking. I want to know who keeps up with that statistic and how they track it. And if we can track how much money the cartels are making on human trafficking, why don't we just put a stop to the human trafficking? If we can track the finances, we can track the people. But people don't see it that way. They go, wow, we got to do something about all that money. We could, because if we can. Now, then I read this, arriving a full day earlier than expected. I don't even expect spaceweather.com to be a controversial topic, ever. But it's just the way my brain works, that how do we measure space weather this long? And I think it's pretty normal that when these things go off, they reach the Earth at the same amount of time, and then this one was early. Now, I might find a normal, explainable understanding for that, but it's those type of questions that lead me to research like I do. Because that don't make sense to me, and I have to know why. The impact at 1920 Universal Time caused a 20 some type of jolt in the USGS's magnetometer at Fredericksburg, Virginia. A G1 class geomagnetic storm is now underway. So, one of the most dramatic eruptions of solar cycle 25 occurred on July 14th when a spray of dark plasma flew away from the sun's southern hemisphere. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory recorded the event. That's pretty substantial right there. Looks like the sun backfired. Sun got a hold of some chili peppers or something. So anyway, I'll have to look into that. Unless I'm sitting here again next Sunday at 8 o'clock, being the first time. Wow. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Now, granted, once again, I don't really know what this stuff means, but I know I don't normally. I'm pointing at the screen like y'all can see my finger on the screen. I don't know what all this here means. But it's pretty massive event weather-wise. So let's see what the Schumann resonance looks like real quick. It's fairly calm right now, actually. Check out the Earth. No. Let's see what we got. We got the particulates, PM1s, pretty decent, up into, I don't know where that's at, North Canada, I don't know. Yeah, up in Canada, I guess. See what it looks like the rest of the world. We know what the 10s are probably going to look like. Alright. Okay. Pretty rough up there. Alright. The PM 2.5s. Oh. Now that's pretty substantial there, because usually we don't see the Saharan dust. Well, let me take that back. If I went back last week or the week before, if I'm not mistaken, it seemed like it surprised me that I didn't see as much dust until we got to the PM10s. Now it is still bad, but it's getting to the point now where it's starting to build on the 2.5s, and that is a fairly fine powder. And I mean, we see the light blue there as well. I mean, that is a pretty harmful. Now we get over here though and look up here. Let's look at this is the ones, like y'all said in Ohio. Yeah, y'all are dealing with some. That's 37 parts per million. The air quality is not good. .5s. Oh, the air quality is definitely not good. It stays exactly, yeah. So we can look at the air quality, and we can also look at what is it? We can look at the wind surface and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is looking pretty good, and here we go. Wind surface and sulfur dioxide. Look at them, Saudi Arabia, I don't know, Africa, South America, North America. That's pretty. So yeah, there we go. That's pretty high there, the sulfur dioxide. It's So yeah, the Midwest is getting pounded. You guys really are. Your air quality sucks right now. And the nitrogen dioxide, you know, the gray is, y'all, the orange at all is starting to get over to the higher end of the spectrum. I got to find out what all that PPE, BW and stuff means. I really need to try to put a little more effort into this. I'm trying, guys. It's a lot of time. Let's look at the, I'll tell you what, let's look at this real quick. I haven't looked at this in a while. I don't even know if it's going to load. And I'll tell y'all something else. I'm going to tell y'all something that is actually kind of weirded me out. So, my internet since I started streaming has done better than it even ever thought about doing over the time that I wasn't streaming. Now it just seems to be working fine again, all of a sudden, out of the clear blue. Weird. I mean, real weird. Oh, looks like we got a huge ship track operation off the coast of California. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on out here off the coast of California and the Bajas. We don't appear to have anything going on up in the north around Washington and Oregon. But we absolutely have got some major activity out here to Southern California. And let's see what the rest of the country looks like real quick. And it's weird that I have to do this way. It's like not makes it easy on me at all. No, look at there. Y'all, absolutely. There's the smoke. We can see the smoke that y'all are getting hit with. Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana. I'm doing this out loud so that I see and relay the state into my brain again. I'm doing my geography homework while we stream. Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, Kentucky. I think I always forget about Kentucky. Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta. I had seen for a long time. I didn't even know Carolinas existed. I was that stuck in Mississippi. So yeah, the smoke is coming straight down from the Canada fires, right down into here, pooling over the South and the Midwest, and then I think that's coming right back up into Michigan, ain't it? And hitting at Pennsylvania, and I think the only thing keeping that smoke from hitting y'all real hard right now is the wet weather you're having. So you can't get smoked out, you're going to get flooded out, right? Alright, let's move on to the water. Let's see what's going to happen over the next valid at 00Z Monday, July 17th. I think that would be midnight tonight. So it looks like midnight tonight. we got this going on and this going on, and let's look at this real quick. This is how I try to make sure we're on the, I know this is how I learn, people. The mind of a madman. Okay, this is current time. Rain in Louisiana, rain in the Northeast. We match it here, rain in Louisiana, rain in the Northeast. So it looks like we are on the current deal, moving forward 6 hours at a time. We're going to do a weekly look forward at moisture because I quite frankly don't feel like I can handle 16 days. I'm not up to that. We're doing 7 at a time so we can kind of keep up with it and see how it works in conjunction with everything else. I think somebody told me the red is a low pressure, the blue is a high pressure or something. There seems like an awful lot of low pressure over the United States. It's only one color of lines, right? Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just make it up as I go. It looks like there's a lot of rain going on in central Florida right now, in between the coast, as you would call it. A lot of storms all across Louisiana, in the northern portion of Louisiana, and still in the Northeast. So we'll move forward to what I think will be like 6 o'clock in the morning, or it would be, let's see, I think I'm 5 hours behind on standard time, so it's at 1 o'clock in the morning for Mississippi here. So we're just going to say morning time, and I think we'll still be good. It looks like Missouri is going to have a shot right there of a storm coming through in the morning. What is it? Where are you even at? What are you doing? You got something in a toenail? My dog is chewing on her toenail, so we're going to see how this goes. I may have to stop in a minute and help her out. I love my fur baby, y'all. She's whining and it breaks my heart. Oh, my sweet Mary. Anyway, looks like the rain in North Louisiana has moved to South Louisiana and catch the bottom of Mississippi, South Mississippi, out into the coast. Looks like we have some general rain out in South Florida, but it looks like we still have some storming in Missouri and off to the east coast there. Let's see how that goes. Moving forward throughout the day, yes. Looks like that rain's finally moving off of the northeast a little bit. It's still hanging around close, but it looks like it's finally starting to move out to the ocean a little bit. It looks like it's moving away from here too. Most all the rain's off across the water right now. Looks like it's staying that way for a minute. Looks like on the morning of maybe the 18th, we start to get some storms up over Kentucky. And it looks, and over East Florida and Central Florida, looks like those could be potential. I think that's a lot of water there in the red and yellows over that 6 hour period, if it matches anything that we've been seeing. So we'll watch out for that. I know some folks that can let me know what's going on in Florida on Tuesday, and we'll see what it looks like in Kentucky on Tuesday. Moving on into the day on Tuesday. Looks like we still got that rain system just kind of hangs out right there in Canada, and we know we got a ship track operation going on out here right now, so there might be a shift coming. I don't know what it could do, what it does. It just seems like when that happens, there's a shift in weather patterns, like it changes the pressure or something. That's why we look at this stuff, right? Just learn together. Well, going on into Tuesday, going on in the day, it looks like more rain for Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee. Some storms look like they could be severe in Missouri and Arkansas and Tennessee. And it just looks like a lot of wet weather in Florida, and starting back up toward the northeast, you won't have much of a chance to dry out, it don't appear. Some wet weather continuing on across the plains. Don't look like anything too awful bad to be concerned about until Wednesday, when y'all start getting dumped on again in the northeast. That's not good. And I don't think that would normally be a bad thing if you just hadn't had so much there already. It looks like we're in that pattern It just constantly, every day, storms are popping up in Missouri. This looks like some popping up in the Dakotas, Nebraska, Wisconsin. These following on through. That's still on Wednesday night. And Thursday morning looks like some pretty strong weather off the coast of North Carolina, in the north part of South Carolina, and up here by the Great Lakes region by Wisconsin. On Thursday morning, looks like y'all are going to be getting wet. Oh, now on Thursday during the day, it appears, and this would probably be sun coming up, getting closer over into late morning, probably. I think I'll get this time thing knocked down a little better. Looks like I think this is north of Oklahoma. I'm gonna cheat. Kansas. Okay, I'm not in Kansas anymore. Here we go. Kansas, you are going to get wet. And that's how I'm going to learn geography right there. Oh boy, I don't know what that is. Kansas, you are going to get wet on Thursday. Looks like you're going to have some pretty strong storms all over the state. So you could probably be watching Ryan Hall, y'all, and his team of storm chasers are probably going to be all over this. I would be looking for them on Thursday for sure. Looks like some severe storm out there on the coast of the Carolinas, and good bit of rain up here over Michigan, Wisconsin on Thursday. So it looks like we're going to continue a fairly wet pattern. And this Mexico pattern still going on, still raining there. And this is all the time, has been since last week. That line just continues to keep some type of water on it. And maybe that's something that just happens all the time. It's a weather pattern I don't know about because of a mountain or something. But hey, I noticed it. We're moving on into Thursday. This keeps traveling on through just constant wet weather. It looks like it picks up some momentum on Friday again, headed up into the Northeast. Yep, headed over to the East Coast. Looks like Pennsylvania, New York, all those little states down through there, D.C. Ooh, and back over here on Friday, looks like we got some other major storms popping off in Oklahoma, Kansas, North Texas, Nevada, that's not Utah, Colorado maybe, I don't know. I'm not going back again. A lot of rain, a lot of storms, a lot of wet weather going to be coming through, especially through the same patterns it usually does. If you're out in the plains, down in the Texas, Oklahoma area that are prone to storms, you need to keep your eyes open for storms. Up in the Northeast, you've already got flooding. You need to be on the lookout for more rain and more flooding. And you need to be on the lookout for weather professionals to kind of tell you what to do. No, they will not tell you about geoengineering. They will not tell you about weather modification. But they do their best to try to provide warnings with the information they have. And that is what we can't do. We just kind of look at what we can. Ryan Hall, y'all, they do a lot to make sure that people are warned of what's coming. And I have personally seen in Rolling Fork, Mississippi, the type of result that they have when they are done, that they come to those areas that are displaced, and they actually leave communities better than they find them. And that's hard to find in people these days. So I don't care if he ever spouts the word geoengineering or the word weather modification. I've seen the way he reacts, and to me the reactions that they give were heroic to people, and that's what really matters. That when you help people and you put people first, it doesn't really matter what's going on, because that's what we need for taking care of each other anyway. So that's the reason that I number one, that I have a personal thing I've seen with him, and a reason that I push him. I believe he is a person of character, and he does what he says he will do. I've seen him do the things that he has said he done, at least there, and so that leads me to believe, and I believe they're out to help people. So that's the reason I tell y'all, when your weather is looking like it's going to be bad, it's Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube, and they will do their best to make sure you know weather's coming and have you at a safe place. I'm just playing weatherman because we miss our buddy, and we're gonna continue to do that. So we're looking at Friday, July 21st. We've still got storms up in North Texas, Oklahoma, some up in the North Alabama. Just going to continue to be, it's going to continue to be a wet week for you up in the Northeast. It looks like you're going to get a little bit of a break for a couple of days. Florida, I would say it looks like y'all are having your general afternoon thunderstorms, probably induced with a little bit of well-spec seeding materials here or there, probably getting zapped by a couple of frequencies. Y'all have an awful lot of that type of activity around your coasts. And some of this is just going to be, weather patterns that happen, and some of it's just going to be the fact that they're dumping chemicals out here off the coast of California. I think we're going to probably see when these storms here over Oklahoma and Kansas and Texas really start to intensify are going to be the days when we see this pattern has started to roll in here and those particulates are starting to get into it. That's just an idea. It's just an opinion on me just trying to kind of think about what I've seen. Saturday, it looks like the Northeast is still getting pounded. It looks like spots of storms across the plains again, and just be on the lookout for that. Now, Saturday, we do look like we have some pretty good rain coming through Alabama. It's probably maybe some heavy rain in Mississippi, but same thing over in the plains. Same storm pattern just seems to keep hitting over and over. And on Saturday night, moving into Sunday, it would appear the rain's going to move on through the south and Alabama and down into Florida, and the Northeast is still going to be getting wet. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. I feel horrible to keep saying that the Northeast is going to continue to get wet, because I know a bunch of you guys, and I know I've seen your comments. I know y'all are already struggling. So, one thing, we need to pray for everybody in the Northeast and in Ohio on the air quality. So I'm going to stop right there. That is Sunday. That'll be next week about the same time that we come back to here. And that'll be 7 days. So that puts us right back where we started, where we can take prayer requests, and I can come back to watching the chat. It's raining so hard I can barely hear. And Captain Tom says it's raining in Guam. I'm going to have to learn to use a different map to be able to see what type of stuff that it's going to be. Going on. Rage, hey Rage. Me and Ellie was talking. Mike Morales, the bunker fuel. Yeah, look, that's the reason I cannot do my stream and do my look. When I do the weather, everybody here knows it. That it's really probably more satirical, but not meant to just be disrespectful. It's satirical in a I loved my brother way, and I'm showing by doing what he done in the only way I know how to do it. I hope y'all understand that. It is satirical, but I really do try to see where it's going to rain and where it's not going to rain, and I really do try to look at it, but I do it in a way that I try to make it respectful and fun, and that we remember Mike, and we never forget that Mike is the center of it. So I want to find out, I need to start looking at a map, because Mike loved Captain Tom, and he would show the Guam weather just for him, so had to do that. And I always have to check the bunker fuel ship tracks, and as it grows I'll start to and I see how Mike kind of had a pattern of the way he done this, and I know why he had this pattern now. It kind of helped him to be able, after a long work day, if he didn't want to talk about the news, he could at least go over the weather. Man, I just wish there was some way I could get the knowledge downloaded into my brain and during the day while I was at work. But I'm not going to lie to y'all, most of the day at work, I think my oldest son, he's probably going to end up in some type of Bible college or Bible preaching or teaching, and he's basically running the men's Bible study at the church that has retired pastors in it that are amazed by him. And so most of the days I spend talking about things of that nature, and I think they are probably the most important things to talk about in this day and age. That getting to that, it kind of transitioned into our open prayer requests. In this time, I come on and I talk about the things that we see in the news, and we talk about the weather. But something we always have to look back on, and we've been studying Daniel in our Bible study, and something we have to remember is that we're not going to get to that end paradise without the evil people that are going to have to be there to bring about God's plan as well. And how they are used sometimes, and the things that we will see and deal with and not understand how it can happen. But yet, it does always come out to be a part of God's plan. So, we talk more about those things than I really do the World Economic Forum. These things must come to pass. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to make sure, and I'm pointing a finger at me right now, because it took a lot in my life for me to get to a place of what I call self-responsibility. I was a great race car driver because I was completely self-absorbed, narcissistic, sociopathic, I was the perfect race car driver. I was number one and believed it. And so it was hard for me to make that transition of taking responsibility for everything and looking at it in a manner as to where, okay, now you've got to take this and turn it into a positive. You've got to be willing to not be ashamed of the gospel. You've got to be willing to submit to the authority of God. And like I say, we're talking about Daniel. So Daniel is at a place where you have three guys that refuse to bow down to basically what turns out is like a 90-foot obelisk that was built covered in gold by King Nebuchadnezzar. And what we would all know in our studies as, Nimrod's phallus, that's the way the Babylonians worship their gods. And they refused to do so. And I wonder, would I refuse to do so? That's what I said. I'm not pointing a finger at nobody but me. So when I do this, I have to realize I can't refuse to do so. So number one, I spread a little news. Number two, I do a thing that I think offers great loving support to a fallen soldier in the best way I know how. And then we offer our thanks, our worship, our praise to God in heaven. I believe that Jesus Christ died on a cross, was resurrected by the power of the Father in heaven, and with the remission of my sin, I can be saved. That is what I believe is an ultimate truth for everyone. We can debate theologies and languages, and I don't think any of those debates mean one thing as long as you have that relationship with your Creator. Most people, like the Babylonians, worshipped created beings, and they did so because it allowed them to have taken their own selfish desires. If you take a God and you make the God in your image, instead of God making you in His image and worshiping that God, you will make a God that will allow you to do things that feel good, and you will turn that debauchery and that blasphemy into worship of your God. People don't like to have anything told to them they can't do. So they will create their idol to do so. Internet can be that. Your race car can be that. My race car was my idol for a bunch of my life. It was my God. I was more worried about that car than I was that relationship. And I almost missed Bible study. I don't want y'all to know, because I wanted to put together a thing tonight. I almost missed Bible study because it was postponed for an hour. But I went ahead and went. And then this works out the way it does. That's because God's plan is always perfect. And I want to promise you, if you're listening to my voice and you've never heard it before, if you ask God, God, what do you want from me? Please lead me to what you want me to do in this life. Pray that God will open your eyes. Pray that God will open your eyes to know if the door opens that you're to walk through, that you will walk through it. But know that when you pray to God, you pray to Him through His Son Jesus, who is there as an intercessor on our behalf, lifting them prayers up to Him. The Bible even says that to God, the smell of the incense and the prayers of the saints being lifted up are sweet to Him. We have the ability to go straight to the Father, and most of us don't take it. And I'm going to be honest, the question is posed in our Bible study. Well, would God save you from the fire? Absolutely not. Not right now. Those boys had character. Those boys stood for something. Do I want to be a person that God would meet in that fire? Absolutely. And I work toward it every day, but I still make those human mistakes. And I know I do. And so we're going to work on it. So if anybody has anything that they would like to put into the chat for requests, you can put that now. I'm not going to read them tonight, or the emails or the notes. We don't have to, because God knows them. Knew them before we were going to write them, and knows what the outcome is going to be, especially if we don't get through. So, but I'm going to pray for everyone that's listening to me tonight for strength. For us to keep going, to bring more people to know Christ. If we talk to people the way that we talk to them about everything else in life, if we talk to them that way about Christ, hey, only one, right? The angels rejoice in heaven with only one. So, J-Heart, one of these days I'm going to come on here and I'm going to really break it down. There's a lot of folks got to hear some things on D-Live. I actually just went all out a couple of nights, and I don't have a problem sharing it. It's actually easy. I want to actually write it down and not be all over the road with it, and let people know that there's good life after a lot of bad things. Prison time, drug abuse, hard drug abuse, in a life that was not so much a down life. It was a good life full of bad things. It's a ride. It's a real ride. Through the power of God and the Son Jesus, I am here. So anyway, let's pray. That's what we're here to do for. If you don't know Christ, I ask you to ask Him to come into your heart. And my email, the falloutshelternews@gmail.com. I will send you to some places that have some very good Bible teaching online that I listen to, and we will be we can deal with that. So I will try my best to help you out. But I will say you may have to go to 20 different churches in your area, but you can find churches that have good Bible teaching, and they don't have all. They're going to all have their little cliques. People have been going there for a while, but you'll find some out there that are good Bible teaching churches. So, Father, we thank you for allowing us to come together tonight. We thank you for this platform that still does allow us to be able to talk in this kind of manner and be able to pray with each other and lift each other up. And the one thing we have not yet been censored for saying in the name of Jesus. Father, I thank you for that. I thank you that we can come and share the gospel. I thank you that I can come and say the things that I say openly about you and my relationship with you. And I am truly thankful that we have that blessing. And I ask you to continue to keep this line open just as long as possible so we can continue to meet here, the digital church, when we can't find places in other homes. Father, I pray that you'll give everyone here listening the strength to fight for the rest of this week, but not to fight for the things that we normally fight for, not to fight for the end of globalization, not to fight to stop the New World Order. Father, I ask you to give us the ability this week to fight for souls for the kingdom, to fight for you, to spread the gospel, to share the truth, the strength to fight Satan himself in what he really wants silenced, to pick up the fiery darts that are actually thrown to keep us from spreading the gospel. All of the things we're presented with that are to confuse us and to keep us off of our path of spreading the gospel. I pray that you help us with that to realize that our relationships with individuals, with our families, that the time that we could have dwelling on the positive things that are still around us instead of living in the negative digital world that surrounds us like a prison every day. I pray that you help us to break out of that and start to rebuild these one-on-one personal relationships in our lives in a human way through the power of your Son and the Holy Spirit bringing people back to you. That's my prayer for this week, Father, for all of us. I thank you for that strength that you're going to send us in advance, because I know it's coming. I'm going to thank you for sending the Holy Spirit to dwell with every one of us this week and give us that strength. And I will thank you for it in the wonderful name of Jesus. Amen. There is the PayPal account. I don't have the link for it for Shelly. Shelly's PayPal account, I think, is simply PayPal/Above Ground World News. I need to get all of that and get it into the descriptions and stuff. I don't know if she's even getting the GoFundMe's, and quite frankly, I haven't had a chance to look and see if anybody's even posted on the channels, and I kind of feel bad about that. I went about 4 days without a telephone. Now, here's the weird thing about what I was saying earlier. Although my internet has been working great, I have went through 8 telephones in the last, 3.5 years. One of them was absolutely my fault. I dropped it off of a tractor, bush hog run over it. There was a lithium fire where the battery exploded, SIM card gone. Totally on me. I get that. I'm not laying that one off on anybody. There was another one that I'm going to take the blame for it, just cause in the numbers game it's really not going to matter. So then out of the other 3.5 years, it turned out I have been through 6 telephones, and they have all done the exact same thing. They've just batteries all of a sudden started going crazy on the meter, and they black out and they don't work no more. So that's the reason I keep buying cheap iPhone 6s, because and now Raytheon's page is gone, which that made me look like a fool, but I'm gonna find it. I've got it on video somewhere in other live streams and anywhere else. So anyway, at least I have a link somewhere. I think they probably done took that from me too. Y'all know how it is. Oh, Marvin, Ohio, Jay Hart, Denise Woolsey, Boomer Bear, Rare Breeds, Rage Against the Machine, Capture Time, Cinder Loner. Yes, I bet Cinder Loner is tired of seeing the rain. Boomer Bear, Dog Named Boo, Timothy Grass, Mike Smith, Pat Evans, Rhonda, Captain Tom Love Pugs. Repeating myself because y'all know I forget who I've said already. Linda Hobbs, yeah. Well, much love to all you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. And if you haven't given your life to Christ, you want to give your life to Christ, I will do everything I can to help you. I have so many places where I fail, but I do my best to lead people to the right places that they need to go to. Sometimes it's the best I know to do. So yeah. Anyway, oh my gosh, it's 9:15. I have got to go to bed. Start another early day next week, and hopefully, oh Father, I'm going to be selfish. Please let that sheetrock finisher show up tomorrow. Oh, I need a sheetrock finisher. All right, guys, look. Armor up. Eyes to the skies. Keep looking, filming. What's going on? We're paying attention to it. We'll see how the weather looks over this week, and man, I really would love to get some time to talk to y'all during the week, and if nothing else, just to pop on and look and see how the weather maps are looking. So we might start to try to do that. They may be short 10-minute streams, but we may look and check how the moisture of the day did. Anyway, this link. Hey, let's see what that is. So that's no, that they've took it away. It's called the MS3 multimedia monitoring system, and they had it on their webpage, and this is the right website, but it was called MS3. Try that. Nothing. This is what got my computer blowed up last time. Multimedia monitoring. Yeah, no. See, now it's doing crazy stuff. It added letters to it. It literally on the page said, I'll find it. It literally on the page said that they were working in conjunction with YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and even could monitor text messages. So, good night, everybody. I see that. Good night from Colorado. So, yeah. I don't know what's up with that. They're monitoring me, absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they monitor me. What we got there? M3S, there we go. Okay, MS3. I don't know where I got that from. So there we go. They have removed it. This is from a different, this is from Military Times. I'm not going to play that video right now. But it says Raytheon's M3S multimedia monitoring system takes speech from video and audio, then generates a transcription and automatically identifies people and places. 5 years ago. I've been railing on that for a while, and now they finally removed it. I will find the archive, though. We will look at it in a couple of days. I love you guys. Eyes to the skies. No fear. Share the gospel, love your family, spend time with loved ones, find the positive things in life this week. Don't dwell on the internet, don't dwell on the digital, don't dwell on the NWO, don't dwell on the World Economic Forum. If you're in the wet, try to stay dry. Love God, love your neighbor, love yourself, and I'll see y'all next week. Fallout out.